Ooh. So I believe this thing actually goes on live before it even shows me it does. Well, you know what, guys? I'm just logging on tonight to kind of figure out Facebook Live. Um, I'm I'm at a loss how to do this stuff when it comes to Facebook Live because this is a whole new thing. I do a lot of work in my studio, you know, um, fancy studio, maybe not, and a lot of recording stuff. But I thought I'd give this Facebook Live thing a go. Do you like my squeaky seat? Oh, it's great. It drives me insane. Can't use it when I'm doing any recording because I've got this. Anyone that's seen me perform live knows that I move a lot, so having a squeaky seat in a studio is not a good thing. But anyway, I thought I'd come on and just try and get myself back in the old saddle. You know, it's the world has turned into a crazy place, but sadly for me and my wife, we had a bit of a crazier one because for those that don't know, about a week and a bit ago, on the way back from a lovely weekend, and trust me, it was a lovely weekend. The Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel. I know. Oh, fantastic weekend there. And basically, on the way back, we were meandering, stopped in Canmore, had a wander, got back on the road, decided to take the 1A back to Calgary when somebody decided that they felt we weren't going fast enough, potentially, whatever, and basically spun us off the road. So, unfortunately, we got rear-ended and yeah, I'm probably sitting a bit funny because I'm still suffering. I've got a bit of whiplash, and I've been going to physiotherapy. So that kind of gave me a knock. I'll tell you that because that's definitely kind of caused me problems with my neck and my throat and movement. And that's on the back, if you remember, uh, of me tearing my Achilles tendon. Sorry, somebody's messaging me. So let me just check. Oh, it's Cliff. Hi, Cliff. I'm not on that page. I've just decided to try it on my own page. I hope this is working because I have no idea if this is actually live on my page. And what I could be doing is what I do every single day, which is basically just talk to myself in a room. So I kind of hope it's working. I hope my mic's on. If anybody is actually watching or paying attention, I'm just going to message Cliff here, completely unprofessional, and just say I'm on my normal page. Let me know if you can actually hear it. On my normal page. Yeah, you can, God, I'm so technologically not there. Can you see and hear me? Because I am that crap. Anyway, yeah. So I thought I'd come on. I have this evening to pluck up courage because I'm not going to lie to you, folks. God, you know my confidence, everything I think has been given a heck of a kick just in the last week or so. So I decided I'd have a little dram or two. We started on a lovely 12-year-old Highland Park, and currently, TL Kermody saying I'm live. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers. As I say, this is just me testing this whole thing, so I have no idea if it was actually working. So as I was saying, we started in a lovely 12-year-old Highland Park, and we've moved on. And I promise this is not how much I've drank tonight, but to a lovely, and I'm going to pronounce this badly, I think it's called a Daig, and it's a 10-year-old from the Isle of Mull, and it is absolutely divine. And it was given to me by that man that's just went yarp by the name of Cliff Cox. And thanks, Cliff. This one has gone down really well. So there is no rhyme or reason to this me going live tonight other than just to test, to get my confidence back, to try and get myself back in the old saddle of recording. I hope my vocals actually sound okay because to me, after the accident, I've definitely got a strain in my throat. I can hear it. Maybe other people can't. You can probably hear this really annoying squeaky chair that I love sitting on. But yeah, tonight is just me talking, me trying to get back into it, me drinking whiskey. And it's good whiskey. I'm going to tell you that. There's so much going on in the world at the moment, which is just crazy. You know, this whole COVID thing is just mad, and it's just thrown everyone for six. And One of the biggest challenges. You're not helping me finish it, Cliff. It is mine. Basically, you've got the Talisker to finish it if you want it, when we're allowed to not be socially distanced. But yeah, one of the big impacts of this COVID that a lot of people haven't realized is, a lot of people are not working at the moment, and hopefully governments are going to step in and help them. But they potentially have those jobs to go back to. For performers like myself and entertainers, there's a huge amount of us at the moment that have basically been, binned. I'm going to be brutally honest. My next gig, if it still holds, is August. So I am literally from the live performance circuit. I have nothing to do until August, other than try and do some voiceover work and recording and maybe make some more CDs and stuff. But it's a pretty crazy time. I think someone said unprecedented has been overused, so I'm going to use it one more time. Uh, yes, I know you'll knock into that, but not next week, because I think Cliff will probably be isolated for a wee while yet. Uh, I think this is what people do. Is this what people do on our Facebook Live thing? They literally look at the messages and reply to people, because, as I say, this is my first ever one, and I just thought I would come on and just ramble. Anyone that's ever seen me do a live stage show, this is a part of what I do when I'm chatting to people and doing storytelling. I'm actually like rambling a lot in my shows. And I was going to do one. There's a wonderful group that my friend Cliff has set up, and I won't go into it, but it's a place where performers, just like the close friend network, can perform and post something just for fun. And I was going to do that tonight, and then I got scared. I actually got nervous. I have walked on a stage in front of thousands of people. I have done huge events, I've done tiny events, and they don't phase me. I literally walk onto that stage and I have fun. This, for some reason, is really unnerving me. And yes, I do ramble, Cliff. It's part of the endearing Scottish quality. If you'd watched me earlier cursing at things, it would be a whole different. What's this? Sorry, I'm just one. Normally they just glance occasionally once they get to talking. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to figure all this delightful thing. This and rambling is always part of the show. Yes, TL, lovely. Yeah, this is good. I like this because at least I know people are kind of like looking at this. So please critique what I'm doing, because I have no idea. Do I look okay? Does I sound okay? Obviously, I'm devilishly handsome. Right, that goes without saying. I'm basically just here to try, and I may tell a story just for the heck of it once I kind of decide. I'm actually a bit worried. I'm going to be brutally honest. Ever since the accident, my brain's been a bit fuzzy, and I was going to go on and do a story on this other kind of group thing that my friend set up, and my head's kind of going, "Oh my goodness, can I remember the story?" And then I realized maybe it's the whiskey as well. So maybe it's actually a crossover between the whiskey and a little bit of whiplash that has made me forget a few tales. They'll come back. They always do. This thing's like locked into about 300 plus stories. Oh, but yeah, so the world has gone crazy. Life is still fun. We're all hopefully enjoying our homes. Hopefully, not too many of you are going stir crazy. This is one of the outlets that I'm going to try and figure out. Hopefully, post some regular stories, have some fun, maybe actually do a whole kind of hour and a half storytelling session as well. I am desperately trying to make eye contact with that camera instead of myself, because another thing, I'm so used to having people in front of me. This is maybe I should get. Do I have cuddly toys? No, I don't think they've got any cuddly toys. I know people do that. Normally, I've got a studio dog and he lies down here. He's no good for an audience either, because he just basically farts and grumbles in his sleep half the time. It's very off putting, I'll have you know. But basically, what, wait, hang off. Okay, Cliff is. Sorry, Cliff is just babbling at me, and trying to read and talk is not my forte. That's why I'm a storyteller. Um, Basically, maths, reading. I read to myself, of course, and I read stories, for my own relaxation. But trying to read and speak is not my thing. It needs to be because I need to do some narration for some books soon, but but we'll get there eventually. So, because a few people have joined, and I don't know. English subtitles. Yeah, I'll see you soon in the battlefield, laddie. Oh, I love it. Yes, the subtitles on Facebook and YouTube, when I put them onto any video I do, are absolutely hilarious. They're actually more fun than just trying to understand me speaking. Basically, I don't care if you're hunting rabbits, Cliff. Honestly, bring me some after. Although, to be honest, there's not much eating on a rabbit, unless you're cooking it. A good way to cook it is in the earth, clay and all that. It's fantastic. Okay, someone's asked for a whiskey story. So, I'm going to wrap this up soon. This is just me testing it. So, thank you to all those who have actually come and just made comments and laughed at me because there's a lot of people laughing at me. I hope that's a positive and not just, what is this rambling idiot doing? A whiskey story. Right, there's one that does pop to mind, and if I mess this up, I will go off camera and punch myself repeatedly. For this is one of the ones that I've told for years, but haven't told it for a while. So, for yous that don't know much about whiskey, obviously it's Scotland's national drink. It is the most divine thing on the planet. It's so, I mean, it's heavenly. It's just amazing. And I know countries have tried to imitate it. Bourbon, rye, the Irish. I mean, none of them have got it right. The only good whiskey is Scottish, and it has no E in it. Okay? There's no E in Scottish whiskey. So, we in Scotland have basically been making it for years, and originally it was kind of something that was made all over. People were just kind of stilling it themselves, they would have their farms, their land, and they would have it set up, smoking away, smoking the peats, etc., and making their own whiskey. But of course, the problem is when people do that, the governments start to pay attention and they realise that there's money to be made. So, of course, the government stepped in and decided they would claim the whiskey and basically tax it. So they sent their excise men into Scotland and they basically tried to shut down all the stills. Now, if you know anything about Scottish humour, you'll know straight away this is just an opportunity for us to have a laugh. Because what we started doing in Scotland is we'd have our proper still, and then we'd set up half a dozen just fake stills smoking in the hills. We'd set one right up at the top of a hill or down in the bottom of a valley, making these excise men run all over the place. And all it was fake stills. So we'd be drinking, partying, celebrating, and having the time of our life. Well, the problem with whiskey is, of course, we indulged in it a little bit too much. You may be unaware that Scotland does have a love affair with alcoholism. It's just one of our passions, that and deep fried food. And throughout the land, things got a wee bit out of hand. So, of course, you had the government trying to stop all the whiskey drinking without them getting money for it. But then stepped in another institution. An institution which has dominated the planet for many years. The church. And if there's anyone who's religious watching this, my advice at this point would be, please go away. Walk away now. You may not like what's you're about to hear. I mean, I want you to listen, but I don't want you to be offended because, frankly, the church got involved and they started making a debacle of the whole thing. You see, let me just put it this way. They called the whiskey things like the devil's drink. It was an evil drink, only brought to this planet by the devil himself. Well, the Scots. But we called it things like the waters of life, sunshine in a glass. I mean, you couldn't get a further apart opinion. But the church was adamant it wanted to stop everyone drinking whiskey. Now, just outside of Edinburgh, there was a wee village. And that village was a very rare place because it was actually a transit route for both legal and illegal whiskey. So basically, you had legal whiskey, illegal whiskey, all going through this one wee village. And I'll tell you, those people, they were having a rare old time. They were drinking to their heart's content. They had all the whiskey they could consume. Every night there'd be a wee ceilidh or a wee drinking session. Every night a wee party was held in this village. And life was good. Until Sunday morning came around. Because, of course, Sunday morning meant it was time to go to the church. And they hated going to the church because their minister, he was one of those old school laddies. He was a right kind of hellfire and brimstone type of fella. You know, every morning, then they went into the church, he'd be in the pulpit, and he was a glowerer. He'd be glowering down at all of them as they walked in. And of course, every sermon started the same. Hellfire and brimstone, the evils of the devil's drink. And it would go on like this. And of course, everyone was hungover and they were all no feeling well. And to have this battering away at them was just a nightmare. But of course, over the years, the minister realised that something wasn't working. You know, here was all his congregation coming in every single Sunday. And they were always worse for wear. They were always struggling away. And he was preaching about the evils of the drink and how they could redeem themselves. Not one of them was listening. So one day, he got to thinking. He had to come up with an example. He had to show them the evils of the devil's drink and what it was doing to them. And then, like a ray of light from the heavens, it came to him. And he was ready. He prepared and set it all up for the following Sunday. Now, it just so happened that Sunday, everyone was even more worse for wear. A big shipment of whiskey had come into the village. So everyone walks into that church and they're green at the gills. They're all peely-wally. They've got the sweats. Half of them are ready to boke all over the place. And as they walk into the church, they see him. And sure enough, there he is, glowering, down at them from the pulpit. And they all sit down and he begins. Hellfire and brimstone, the evils of the devil's drink. And no one of you has ever listened to me, and all the time I'm trying to save you. But worry not. I have it covered. Now I will show you what the evils of the drink is doing to you. And he reaches down under his pulpit and he brings out a glass. And that glass is perfect. There's water running off it, and he swirls it about, and clear as the day is the liquid inside. And everybody in the church is looking at it. And I'll tell you, a few of them are, licking their lips and that because they can see it's water. They've got a right druth on them. And he swirls it about and he says, God's finest drink, water. And they're all looking at him. And then he reaches under the pulpit and he pulls out something that makes the whole congregation gasp, because in his hand he holds a wriggly, jiggly worm. One of God's finest creatures. And then he holds that worm over that glass of water and he says, now I will show you how God looks after his creatures. And he drops the worm in to the water. And he gives it a wee swirl about and he holds it up to everyone to show them. And everyone's looking at this wee worm in the water and they can see. Well, they can actually see the worm's okay. I mean, it looks like Aye, looks like it's doing the backstroke. And then he reaches in and he pulls the worm out, and sure enough, the worm is still wriggling and jiggling about. And he places it down. And then he reaches once more under his pulpit and he raises up another glass. And all of a sudden, the congregation goes silent because they can see in this glass the most beautiful amber liquid. And all of a sudden, they all start to smile. Maybe finally the minister has given up trying to preach. Maybe he himself has turned to the drink. It's good stuff. Well, the minister looks out at them and he picks up that wee worm once more and he says, "Now I will show you the evils of the devil's drink." And with a flourish worthy of the finest magician, he drops the worm in to the glass of whiskey, gives it a swirl, and all of a sudden that wee worm goes rigid and sinks to the bottom of the glass. And the minister, with a smile on his face, looks out about his church and goes, "Ha ha! What do you make of that?" And as he waits for a response, he looks at all his congregation and he ignores some of those little comments that he's hearing, like, oh, it's an awful shame that. Oh, geez, I wish he hadn't done that. Aye. That's an awful waste of whiskey, that. Oh, what a shame. He ignores them all. And he waits and he hopes for the right answer to come. And then, here it is, a wee voice at the back of the church. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. I think I know exactly what you're trying to tell us. And the minister leans forward, eager to finally hear his parishioners hearing the truth of his words. "I know exactly what you're trying to say, sir. You're trying to tell us that if we have the worms, we've to drink the whiskey." I'll try not and punch my microphone the next time. But that is a wee whiskey tale from Scotland. I haven't told that one for a while. Not helped by the fact that I forget I've got electronics in front of me and go and whack my mic about 3 or 4 times during that telling, folks. I hope that didn't distract you or ruin the tale for you. I'm going to now finish my wee whiskey. I want to thank you all for joining, those that are still listening. I have no idea if anyone's actually here or not. I have comments. Everyone's possibly disappeared. They may have done. If you haven't, thank you for listening. I will be trying to do more of these. As I say, this is pretty much just to get me back in to the habit of trying to do this. So thanks for listening. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And no doubt I'll see you all tomorrow. I won't see you tomorrow. I'll hopefully see some comments from you tomorrow and be posting more videos. Have a lovely night, folks. Much love.